about in Kansas City? You educate well?
Yes and no. One thing we noticed when Google Fiber came in 2011, I guess that was, the demand was huge. But we noticed very quickly that demand was very isolated to the neighborhoods where our young entrepreneurs were in our entrepreneurial district, and where a lot of the CEOs and COOs and executives of the world were living. There is a road in Kansas City called Troost, and everything east of Troost is significantly disadvantaged in comparison. And what we noticed was it wasn't just the financial wherewithal to embrace Google Fiber, because Google was given the service away east of Troost. There is a natural hesitancy to not embrace a technology that you don't just grow up with and isn't just a part of your life. People east of Troost are not digital natives. And so we've taken on a significant effort to help bridge that digital divide. And that's actually what we refer to it as. We're working with HUD to actually help put in education systems so that kids who grow up on Troost can someday grow up to start a business over in the crossroads, can have that business bought out by a Black & Veatch or a Microsoft, and then become a serial entrepreneur and get that opportunity. We're rebuilding a bus rapid transit route if we're fortunate enough to win this Smart City Challenge that the Department of Transportation is running now. It's going to put another 100,000 people under Wi-Fi within the next 3 years if we're able to win the thing. And all of this is to help educate and train that workforce. We've got a nonprofit called Launch Code. It's active in 4 cities right now. That's treating a lot of tech sort of skill sets as an apprentice skill, not as something you have to go to Mizzou or KU or UMKC to gain, but that you can actually get it as a kid coming out of high school. Get apprenticed to a company, and then actually continue to progress in that industry because of your street cred for having developed a great app or having developed a ability to code for a firm.
So Google gave away a fiber network in Kansas City, and there were still some non-adopters?
Yes.
And whose responsibility was it to get those folks on the network? Is that a civic responsibility? Is that a corporate responsibility? Whose responsibility was that?
I think it's a shared responsibility. When you look at how megacities are sort of driving some of the new thought in city management at this point, you need the city to actually pave the way for people like Google in terms of getting rid of fees, that regulation piece that you all have talked about. Let's not focus on the permitting and the money the city can make for Google to put in power at a light pole for $575 a month. Let's let them do that for free. Google, in exchange, gives up that particular service. And then I get a nonprofit like Launch Code or Code for KC or KC Digital Drive to come in and do some of the education pieces. I've got a soup kitchen that the young man who runs it actually came out of here in New York. And he's looking at it as a holistic program. Yes, we're going to feed the body at the kitchen. But when the meal's over, we're going to have classes upstairs to teach you how to write a resume. And then the city is going to work with an area transit authority to build a bus line which can get you to a job site.
So the city does all these?
No. We don't necessarily do the training. I've got a nonprofit for that.
Really?
But the city, is working with that nonprofit and understanding what we do well. I take care of the permitting issues and make it easier for you. The benefit I get is a citizenry that's better prepared.
How is the nonprofit monetized for something like that? Who pays for the training?
Multiple venues. There are typical fundraisers like you would see any group doing, golf tournaments, whatever else have you.
Does the community
There's
college
lots of
have
federal
surplus? Does the community college have capacity to do some of that training?
They do some of it, and quite frankly, we've got HUD, who's donated $22 million in federal grants so that these firms can do that. Connecting for Good is wholly owned and subsidized by Google. All the firms that are up here today have donated significant bits to helping these organizations do their piece.
Has that check cleared, or is it fair for us to say we're invested in that?
And that's the beauty of this mega system, is that you involve everybody as equal partners in what this city landscape, this ecosystem is supposed to look like for the benefit of all of us.